Hey everybody, this is Mr. Walsh here, and I am going to talk to you today about mole calculations. And so I think that, at this point, now that we've done molar mass, we can do a little bit of calculating with moles. Here's the thing. Moles are in the middle of it all, okay? Moles are related to calculating the volume of a gas. Remember, we'll talk about that at 22.4 liters, okay? Moles are related to mass, using the molar mass. Okay, in this we have to calculate. Okay, it's not a constant. Calculate. Make sure I spell that correctly. And then moles are also related to the number of molecules. Remember, this is Avogadro's number. Okay, which is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules, right? Or atoms or whatever you're counting. Okay, so moles are related to all of these things. Okay, but these things aren't related directly to each other. So moles are kind of in the middle. So what we need to do in science is spend time getting to moles, because moles are in the middle of it. My guess is that you know how to do some of this stuff. Okay, so if we have 1 mole if 1 mole of calcium carbonate, this is this stuff. Calcium carbonate, just to let you know, is like in chalk. Okay, and let's say this has a molar mass of 100 grams per mole. Okay, so we did the calculation. We did Ca, C, and O, and we went through the whole thing, and we got 100 grams equals 1 mole. Okay, that's what we're saying. Okay, so now, what if we had 2 moles? Well, if 100 grams is 1 mole, if we had 2 moles, we would double that, and that would be 200 grams. Okay, like that's something that you can do easily in your head. Okay, I think. Okay. And then, what if we said instead of having 100 grams, what if we had 50 grams? So if we had half the amount that's in a mole, that means we would have half a mole. So this would be half of a mole. So again, you can do those things in your head. But what we want to do is we want to be able to interconvert these using the math, because not always are we going to have numbers that work out evenly. Okay? Now here's the other thing. Okay? When we go to the lab, grams is what we use in the lab. Okay, that's the unit that we use in the lab. So I'm having a hard time thinking straight. Okay, so this is a balance is going to measure in grams, but you know what? A balance doesn't measure in moles. We have to do chemistry on paper in moles. Okay, more on that a little bit later. And so there's no way for us, even though moles are in the middle of it all, there's no way for us to measure moles directly. So we have to measure grams and then go back and then go to moles so we can go to other things. Okay? So moles are for doing chemistry on paper. Grams or liters, okay, are for doing chemistry in the lab. Those are the things that we can measure. So how does this work? Okay? And so I'm going to introduce you to the X line. So this is if you're just kind of tuning in on just the notes. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this same question and I'm going to write it out here. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use something called the X line to do this. Okay. And so we're going to convert 4.5 moles to grams. That's what we want to do. Okay? And so I give you the molar mass. Okay? We could go over here or down here and we could say C is 2 times 12.011. H is 6 times 1.008. 24.022, 6.0 0.048. We add those up, and we get 30.0696. Okay, that's fine. So this is the thing we are going. That's the molar mass. Now, in this, I'm assuming that you can do that, and we're going to have to do that at some point. But here, I'm just showing you how to do the conversion. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to write the number that we start with, and then we're going to write X line. Okay, that's the way this works. Okay, we're going to set up a multiplication problem. Okay, and so in order to set this up correctly, we're going to take the unit that we are given in the problem, and we're going to repeat it down here, moles. And then we're going to take the unit that we're trying to go to, which is grams, and we're going to put that on the top. Okay? So when we X-line, we're setting up our problem. Now, once we set up the problem correctly with the units, now we're going to go back to here. And what number goes with moles? 1. So now moles are on the bottom, so we're going to put 1 mole on the bottom. What number is with grams? 30.0696. Okay? And so when we do that, now, look, moles cancel because we have a number on the top and a number on the bottom, and the only unit we're left with is grams. Okay? And then we break out our calculator. 4.5 equals 1 times 30.0696 is 135.313 grams. Not grams per mole, not mole, but grams, because we set this up to cancel out moles. So let's try this. Okay? So we're going to convert mass to moles. So here, look. So now notice we're not given a molar mass. So before we start, we have to calculate molar mass. So I'm going to do that first. Molar mass. So I'm going to say N. And this is just a compound. This is just an element. So we just have to look in the periodic table and get 14.007. And so that means that 1 mole of N is equal to 14.007 grams. Okay? So this is why we're writing it out like this. Okay? You could get in the habit of writing grams per mole if you wanted to. Okay? But, I think that this helps us do these sorts of problems. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to write the number that we begin with, 28 grams, with the unit. The unit tells us, and then we're going to X line. And then we're going to write the unit that we're getting rid of on the bottom, grams. And then the unit that we're trying to go to, moles, on the top. Okay? So now, what number goes with moles? 1. What number goes with grams? 14.007. Okay, so now we can do the math. Okay, grams cancel. Okay, so even though this one is set up a little bit different, it's set up the same, notice we're solving for a different problem. This X line is a great way to solve these sorts of conversion problems. Okay, so we're going to do 28 times 1. Let's see, 28 times 1. You don't have to multiply by 1 if you don't want to. Remember, that's just going to give you the same answer back. Divided by 14.007. We get 1.999 moles as our answer. Okay. Now if you wrote 2 moles, I won't argue with you if you rounded that. Okay. Okay. So we're going from mass to moles. Okay? So we need a molar mass. So that's the first thing, molar mass. We don't always need a molar mass. Sometimes it's given, sometimes the problem doesn't call for it, but we have to figure out if we need it or not, okay? So now we're going to do Ca, and that's 1. And remember, we carry the 2 through, we distribute that. So N, there's 2 times something, and then O is 6. Now, we just did N, that's 14.007. 2 times that is 28.014, and then this is 15.999. Calcium, I have to look up. Okay, it's right here, 40.08. 40.08. Okay, so this is 40.08, and then for oxygen here, let's see, 6 times 15.999 is 95.994. Okay, we add these up, we get plus 40.08 plus 28.014, 164.088. And so we're going to carry that through. Okay, we're going to carry those numbers all the way out, and that's what we have going out. Okay, so that's that many grams equals 1 mole. Okay, and again, I like writing it like this for the problem that we're doing. So now we write the number that we're given with the unit, 15.0 grams, X line. What goes on the bottom? Grams, because it's here, so this unit goes on the bottom. Moles go on the top. Now we look at the molar mass. What unit is with moles? Or what number is with moles? 1. What number is with grams? 164.088. And now we can do the math problem. Okay. So we're going to do 15 times 1. Okay, and again, if you don't have to multiply by 1 because we know what that is, but okay, that's okay if you do. Then we're going to divide by 164.088, and we get 0.0914 moles as our answer. Okay, we have moles here, grams canceled. Okay, giving us just moles. Let's set this up. We don't know exactly which way we're going. Okay, but here I'm going to do this now. Down here, I'm going to write the steps. So now we're going to check molar mass. Okay, is the molar mass given? No, so we have to calculate it. Okay, so we'll do molar mass, and that's Na is 2 times something, and O is 1 times 15.999, so that's 15. That equals 15.999. Sodium, okay, sodium is here, 22.990. 22.990. So we will calculate, okay, 2 times 22.990 is 45.98, and then we will add those two together. Okay, is let's see, 15.999. That's 61.979. Okay, and then the second step is to write a number given with unit. Okay, so what are we given? 3.50 moles. Okay, and then step 3, we're going to X line. And step 4, we're going to use the units to do the problem here. So moles on the bottom. Okay, we're given moles here. So moles goes on the bottom here, and then grams on the top. And then step 5 is plug in numbers. Okay, and so what are the numbers here? This was grams equals 1 mole. So how many moles do we have? 1, and then it's 61.979. And then step 6, let's say, step 6 is to calculate, and then step 7 is make sure you have the right unit. Okay, so let's calculate here. 3.50 times 61.979. And if you want to divide by 1, that's fine. I am not. So this is going to be 216.9. Good enough. Okay, moles cancel, giving us grams, and that is how many grams are in this many moles. So if we go to the lab, we're going to measure out this many of this solid. Okay, so now we can kind of follow those same steps for this one. We're given 36 grams of H2O. Okay, so we check for molar mass. Is there molar mass? I don't see molar mass. So now we have to calculate molar mass. H is 2 times 1.008. O is 1 times 15.999. And this is 2.016. So I'm doing a lot of this math in my head. Okay, plus I've memorized the periodic table to some degree, so I'm able to do this. You may need to look this up, but I'm looking up the molar mass. I have the molar mass. Okay, grams equals 1 mole. Okay, so we found the molar mass. So now that we have the molar mass, we can write the number given, 36 grams. Now we're going to X line. We're going to look at the units. Grams go on the bottom. Notice this is different, okay? Because we started with a different number. So grams go on the bottom, moles go on the top. What number goes? So that's the units. We plug in the numbers. That's 1 mole. Grams, 18.015. Now we calculate and we make sure we get the right units. So we'll do 36 times 1. You don't have to do that, but I'll do it this time. 115. And so we get 1.998 moles because we got rid of grams. So the only unit we have left is moles. Okay? And so now if we had 36 grams of water, we know we would have 2 moles of water, or 1.998 moles of water. Okay, so you may want to write down those 7 steps. Okay, it may help. It's the benefit of, I guess, watching the videos. Okay, and then guess what? We're going to keep going on different kinds of calculations in the next video. Okay, everybody, have a great day.